If you think about the best duos of all time, you have the Kobe's and Shaqs, the Scorsese's and DiCaprios, the Pineapples and Pizza. But today, we got a duo that is so unexpectedly good, we for some reason never saw this duo again, and instead we got steaming stinkers like Squirrel Girl and Howard the Duck. But don't worry, I'm gonna take a cannon to shove down your throat and blast you to the past, where we get to see the Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man one-shot. So this Paw Patrol episode begins with us being taken to a press conference for a new satellite that also features the presence of Clark Kent and Peter Parker. But suddenly, Peter was rudely interrupted by JJJ and asked him to take some Snapchat stories of the satellite. But Peter doesn't want to because he just wants to chill and spend time with his missus. But Jonah doesn't care because Peter gets no vacations. But Peter also doesn't care what this prehistoric fossil wants and storms off to do what he wants. Meanwhile, however, Clark and Lois are admiring the satellite but overhear some donkey ducks talking about him behind his back. And it turns out it was Clark's boss at the Daily Planet who reveals to Clark after he overheard this Discord call that he will be replacing him with a reporter who is far more popular on an international level. And Clark, this pussycat, just shrugs it off, while Lois tries to fight back on his behalf. So she decides to be the man in this relationship and take some pictures to save Clark's Wattpad career. But while she was taking pictures from an awkward angle, she slipped and fell to her doom, but was suddenly saved by Peter Game of the Year Parker. And soon after, they have a little chat, share some career advice, and Peter introduces Lois to MJ. But for some reason, Superman comes out of the roof's butthole to laser both MJ and Lois, make them disappear, and run. But here's the thing, the person that zoinked these ladies to the Shadow Realm wasn't Clark, because Clark witnessed this go down from the ground floor. And I will explain who this phony Superman is, but before I do that, Peter is more vexed than someone eating melted ice cream and suits up to stop Superman. Meanwhile, however, Superman also decides to suit up, meet Spider-Man in the middle, and have a big fight. And the reason why they are fighting is because 1. Spider-Man thinks Superman is evil, 2. Superman thinks Peter is working for the phony Superman, and 3. Lex Luthor disguised himself as Superman with the help of Doc Ock, so that way the heroes can have a clash royale while they steal the satellite. But to add more protein powder to this energy drink, Lex decided to shoot Spider-Man with a testosterone boost and give him the strength to go toe-to-toe with Superman. And these lumberjacks had an insane duel. But here's the thing, Superman's spidey sense is tingling because he thinks that there's a little misconception going on here. But Peter doesn't want to hear any misconceptions because he's having a jolly time beating up Superman. But the tide suddenly shifts when Clark is about to deliver a punch, and mid-punch, he realizes that this punch will kill him. So he pulls it back, but the wind from the punch is so strong that it blasts this goober across town like he's a rubber band. And because of this, Spider-Man's strength is gone and Clark gets harder and harder, which eventually leads to a pair of broken hands. But at least now, there's a chance to discuss the misconceptions, which they did, and now they're going to get married and save their respective girlfriends. So they traveled to what they thought was Otto's and Lex's lair, but turns out that they were gone. So Peter did a little bit of research on some computers and found out that these donkeys were in Kilimanjaro. But after going to Kilimanjaro and fighting a few fools, they still couldn't find these island boys. But it turns out they have finally figured out where they are at, and the location they are in is in space to launch their new satellite in the Injustice Gang headquarters. And it's named like that for exactly why you think. But anyways, these two gumballs are holding the ladies hostage and luring the heroes to them. And Otto's confused why they are baiting a pair of behemoth superheroes with their girlfriends. Surely we should just launch our evil satellite now, but no. Mr. Clean here has an underlying reason that will be revealed after they have hacked into the satellite, claimed it as their own, and pointed its laser towards Earth. Also, fun fact, this satellite can control the weather on Earth. So yeah, this thing is more multi-talented than Donald Glover, because even when the two heroes finally reached space with a random starship that Peter somehow found in his bump crack, the satellite knocked them both out and they got teleported inside of the Injustice Gang's hood. And now we've reached the point in the story where we get to hear the villain's motivation, and trust me, it's a valid one, because the reason why Lex wants to destroy Earth is so he could get $10 billion, or else he will turn the world into butter chicken. And the reason why he brought the ladies is so both heroes can witness the destruction, but the heroes cannot let that happen. So they try to fight the villains one-on-one, but even though these tuts are so incredibly nerfed in the story and should easily defeat these guys one-on-one, the two decide that it would be better to just work together. And it turns out it did work, because Otto was defeated pretty easily, but Lex was still going to work and activating the satellite, while Clark just decided to try to stop fighting and fly back to Earth to stop an incoming tsunami wave that was made by the satellite. However, Peter decides to play some psychology voodoo with Otto and make him turn against Lex, which works within one comic panel, and because of that betrayal, Lex is finally defeated, they shut down the satellite, Superman stops the tsunami by making a wall of wind thanks to his speed, then they got these lobsters arrested, and finally kissed each other goodbye with the hopes of meeting each other once again. And yeah, that's it. Bye.